Hello my friends, and welcome to this first episode of Season 1 of the Middle-earth solo role-playing campaign, the Dwarves of Fangorn. Now, because it's the first episode, I need to give a little bit of a little bit of exposition, a little bit of background about how it's going to work. So, as you know, or you may know by now, I'm going to be using the Lord of the Rings, the role-playing game, which utilizes the Coda system, which is a D6 system, for this. I'm also going to be using Mythic as an oracle. I've brought out the Mythic variations because I think as this story progresses, it's going to change from like just a conventional ordinary Mythic game to more of a mystery type game. At the moment, it has no genre, no setting, so I'll just pop that to one side at the moment. Right, let's go put the other screen up a bit bigger. Right, so this isn't as it is at the moment. This is a representation, okay, of the Shire, and in particular our main character, who is called Bungo Bolger, and here he is there. Although he's pictured with a little short sword in his hand, he doesn't have that yet. Okay, so bear that in mind. That's just someone else travelling through. This isn't Bag End or anything like that. Please remember that. But anyway, right, so the setting for scene 1 is it's set in the Shire because, now, Gandalf wasn't the only wizard to have visited the Shire, at least in my version of the events. Now, I'm trying to keep out certain names, like, for instance, my main protagonist here is called Bungo Bolger. I was going to have him as a kind of a distant relative of one of the Tooks, but I know how passionate people can be about you know that's not how it's written and stuff like that. So I'm treading a careful line here, folks. Okay, but anyway, the story is this: there is an evil awakening in Middle-earth. Many characters, many personalities in Middle-earth are aware of this, but we're going to be focusing on one Radagast the Brown, who has been in deep conversation with his good friend Gandalf. There are a group of dwarves which uncharacteristically became, when the dwarves were ousted from Aragorn, and they were kind of scattered, and of course later we've got Thorin and his company, who will be going to reclaim the kingdom under the mountain, but that's a different timeline. That's further on. This is set before that happens, so dwarves are scattered everywhere, but there are one group of dwarves in particular who, and this is another story, befriended Radagast the Brown. He kind of took them under his wing, as it were. See what I did there? And they became rangers, and they were part of Elrond's group of rangers as a whole, but they represented the dwarf faction, as it were. Now, their job was to just keep their eyes on the borders, keep an eye out for anything untoward, the usual watch out for evil type of thing. But they've gone missing, all bar 3, which is, they're going to be introduced into this scene in just a moment. So we got 3 dwarves. Not only have the dwarves gone missing, or the others of that company of dwarves, there were, I don't know, about 10 altogether dwarves. That might be a bit more, a bit less. I think it's a bit more. But anyway, the animals have started going missing as well. Radagast is very attuned to nature. That's his kind of specialty, Radagast the Brown. He's very much in touch with nature, animals, plants, that kind of thing. He cares for them as as if they were his own children. And this, this has been frowned upon by the likes of Saruman and things who kind of view Radagast as a lower, lesser being. We all know what happens to Saruman, but for the purpose of this story, though, he is obviously an Istari, a wizard, whose underlying goal was to help the peoples of Middle-earth unite against the threat of Sauron. But he felt more attuned to nature, and he felt more drawn to uniting the natural forces of Middle-earth in this war, this coming war. Now, he doesn't like the fact that his beloved animals, his birds and rabbits and squirrels and loads of other creatures, bugs, he hasn't heard a word of them because he can commune with them. And to cut a long story short, he was going to ask his dwarven friends if they knew what was going on, if they found out anything about this. That's when it came to light that the majority of that company have gone missing too. Now this is very, very worrying. Radagast consults Gandalf, who says, basically he says, in a matter of this importance, you need help. Don't just rely on the animal kingdom. And he kind of explains to him, not that there's anything wrong with that, but you're going to need the help of, I won't say mankind, perhaps the dwarves can help. So that's when, of course, Radagast explains about that. He says, I have just the thing. I know a race that is highly resistant to corruption, and I think this is what you need. Seek out the hobbits. Go to Hobbiton, go to the Shire. There you will find many prospective hobbits to help you. And so what Radagast does is he sends forth his birds, his owls and different creatures to go forth to the Shire to seek out who they think would be the best candidate for a mission of this type, and to expect him and the dwarves to appear at his home or her home a week from now. So that's it. He sends out his messengers, and this is where we pick up the story. Scene 1 in the Shire. Now, Bungo is not in at the moment, but he's been getting lots of, this past week or so, he's been getting a lot of owls and bird hooting and going outside. But if he'd happened to go outside to check into his little garden, he's got a little tiny bit out here out the front, but he's also got a little bit out the back as well on the other side of the hill. But if he'd taken the time to go out, he would have received the message from the animals that to expect company, and on what day. And this is now the day that the company is expected to turn up. He gets a knock on his door. Who is it? Go away! Oh, confound it! So he opens the door, and he doesn't have this sword in his hand at the moment. Says, but bear in mind, this is the only figure I have at the moment representing him. Right, and he's confronted by 3 dwarves with a pony. What is it? What is the meaning of this? What's going on? And the first dwarf, there's 3 dwarfs. One that has a bow, one that has like smaller axes, and one with a big battle axe. And we are going to look at the one with, actually be the one with the big battle axe, won't it? So that will be, he's kind of like the unspoken leader. Master Hobbit, my name is Grungor Steelheart, and we are here for the appointed meeting with our friend Radagast and yourself. Of course, Bungo's like, what are you talking about? Who are you? I don't know who you are. Why are you knocking on my door? Why are you here? What is this? You've been told of our meeting, Master Baggins. Master Baggins? Master Baggins! This isn't Lord of the Rings. Master Bungo. And with that, he steps aside. Not in a threatening manner. So they're kind of surrounding him, not threatening, but he's like... And so Bungo is kind of like... Is he intimidated? Is Bungo going to be intimidated by this? Let's have a look at his stats. He's got a bearing of 7. That doesn't give him any minuses or... So he's not attempting to do anything. So I'm going to make my first roll. Is Bungo Bolga intimidated by these dwarves? I think we're starting with a chaos factor of 5. And I think, and I'm consulting my fate chart here, my trusty fate chart. I think the odds of this are somewhat likely. So I'm going to roll my percentile die. 43. Yes. He is very much intimidated by this. So he backs off. He goes up. Go away. I'll call the sheriffs. Master Bungo, we mean you no harm. We are merely here to seek your help. I know nothing of what you're asking me. With that, an owl swoops down from the top of the hill, goes, because it's not night time, but it's late afternoon, and a big cloud of smoke appears, and everyone starts coughing. What? Oh, what was that? What's going on? You were trying to rob me. And when the smoke clears, Radagast appears. Radagast, you could have chosen a less dramatic entrance. And yes. Time is of the essence here. May we go inside, Master Hobbit? Look. I don't know who you are. I've been sending my messengers to you for the past week. Have you not heard them squawking outside your door? On windows? Oh, right. Birds. Going to talk to me, are they? They would have done had you gone and listened. Right. Radagast he's a powerful being. He's a wizard. Can he calm... I think... Is he able to calm Bungo down enough to the point of, without using magic, of letting him inside? Now, as he's in this story, I think that's a pretty routine. Without magic, it's routine. We've got simple routine challenging to... And for that, it's 10. I think, yeah, he had a dramatic entrance. So I think it's just going to stay routine. So he needs a 10. Radagast, his bearing is quite high. So he would have a plus on that. Oh yeah, easy. Yes, so he convinces Bungo Bolga to let them all go inside the hobbit hole. He says, look, we'll leave Bill the pony. We'll leave Bill outside. He won't go away. Maybe come in. I suppose so. Please don't rob me. Yes, of course we won't rob you. Aye, we won't rob you, Master Bungo. So they all go inside. Now, inside the hobbit hole, it's very much like the hill that the hobbit hole that Bilbo Baggins is in, just on a smaller scale. So he has pantries and, you know, have plenty of, like, a nice kitchen and a kind of a leisure area by the windows and that thing. But they close the shutters. May we indulge you for some tea? At this point, Bungo is kind of like, I feel like I'm being forced here. So he just says outright, okay, Radagast, you've proved you're a wizard. Why are you here? And I demand to know now. And why have you brought these dwarves to my home. Yes, yes, all will be explained. If we make the tea, we will explain. I will explain. So, okay, so he makes the tea. Okay, make the tea. He goes away. He makes the tea. He brings out, cups of tea and pots of hot water with the tea, and he even gets some cakes out of it, to which the dwarves munch eagerly. Grungor Steelheart speaks up. So he says, Master Bungo, may I introduce my two comrades, Chetwin Hammerhand and Balvor. Balvor. Okay. He says, nice to meet you. More tea? He's getting a bit nervous. Radagast says, yes, yes. Okay, we need calm. Look, we've come here for your help. Bungo is very much of the opinion, well, what can I do to help you? We need the help of a hobbit. Because it is said, it is written, well, it is said, that you hobbits have a high resistance to corruption. Bungo's like, what's going on here? Look, this is a matter of dire consequences if we fail. Our friends have gone missing. We need your help. Why have you come to me? I'm no tracker. Why don't you go to the rangers of the north, or perhaps seek the help from the elves? They're better at this. I'm just a hobbit. I'm not an adventurer. I'm not particularly brave. I can't fight. I can't track. As he's listing these things off, of course, Grungor's going, you can't what? Radagast, what's going on here? He changes accents, I don't know why. He just does it. Radagast motions for them all to lean forwards. They've got their cups of tea and they're munching their cakes. A new evil is arising. Years and years ago, there was an evil Morgoth. Oh, terrible, terrible evil. Anyway, he shakes his head as if in a trance there. I fear evil is rising once again, and the missing or the disappearance of the dwarves and my children. I need you. The fact that these three have somehow managed to evade whatever it is that's got their comrades. Grungor says, yes, of course. No, he says, aye, yes, of course. It's not like we went around in groups or anything. They must have just picked us off, or it, whatever this evil is. One by one, we were due to meet up and exchange information of what we have seen and heard. I myself had gone out of Fangorn. That's perhaps why I evaded this evil. You really change your accent a lot, don't you? And Grungor was like, I haven't quite got the hang of this dwarven talk yet. Fair enough. Okay. I still don't see what you want me to do about it. Radagast leans forward. We need your help, Master Hobbit. Bungo Bulger, my children, the animals have been coming to the Shire for this past week, and they have selected you as the perfect candidate. Whether that's because they've seen, and they've told me, you like to play games, you're good at throwing things, you have good target with that. You've been known to indulge in games of the mind. You're quite intelligent. Then you're good at singing. You come out of the Green Dragon Inn singing many a night. Actually, every night this week. Bungo Bulger thinks, okay, what's in it for me? I have to be honest with you. I have no money to offer you, or no treasure. Dwarves are going. He does this to the dwarves that are around him. My fellow dwarves here are not as corrupted they're not as tainted by the lust for greed as their brethren. Bungo nods. I have heard stories of the greed of the dwarves. The three dwarves like, I'm not what you're saying there. Well, if we are to become friends, I trust we are going to become friends. Radagast smiles. Good friends, good friends. If you do this for me, you will be helping a cause that Middle-earth will not forget, but sadly will not also not realise or know. Bungo's like, yeah, a hobbit like me is going to affect the world? I don't think so, do you? It's true. It's very true. Okay, I still don't see what's in it for me, but before you make a decision, my good friend Gandalf said, hobbits are not easy to get out of the front door, but when they do, their potential is really unleashed. They grow in ways that they will grow in ways that you will not imagine possible. How he knows this, I don't know. Our mission is clear, though. Pack what things you need for this adventure. We are going to leave the Shire. Bungo's like, what? Why can't I do it from here? No, lad. Who's saying that? Not Balvor. No, lad, you can't do it from here. We have to go find out what has happened to our kin. This evil needs to be destroyed. Bungo Bolga. No money, no reward. I will give you this. Radagast takes out a vial. In it is a clear liquid. It's like one of those perfume bottles with clear glass. In this bottle is a liquid that you pour on any living thing, any plant. It will grow in whatever soil you plant it, no matter how tainted the earth is. It will grow. Plant a seed, it will grow into a tree. If your flowers are dying, just a couple drops, and they will bloom. Bungo Bolga. He's quite like, yeah, actually, yes, I'm a bit of a fair gardener. That sounds good. But is that all? But I guess it. I am reluctant to say this to you, but I am an Astari. But if you do this for me, I will always be a friend and comrade to you and your friends also. In this world, Master Bulga, you cannot have too many friends. Bungo Bulga looks up and goes, okay, I'm in. He runs off to pack his bags. Whilst he's doing that, the dwarves are muttering in conversation with Radagast, who starts pacing up and down. And whilst he's doing it, Bungo hears him say things like, we must leave tonight. So he thinks, well, okay, I'll pack some provisions and give him the weapon. Bungo's like, what? He stops what he's doing. He rushes out. Weapon? What are we doing? And Chetwin Hammerhand steps forward he's giving him a long knife, which is kind of like a short sword, which looks like a normal sword in his hands. Here, lad, have this. You will need it. But I'm no fighter. Just in case. Okay. So he puts the sword, he straps it across the backpack, and then he puts the back on. Right, I'm ready. What do we do? Radagast nods. I have made arrangements so that nature and my own subtle will keep unwelcome forces at bay from your home whilst you are away. Okay, what do we do? Our objective is to leave the Shire. Well, your objective is to leave the Shire and attract as little attention as possible. Go to your inn first, as if you were just having a few drinks, and then slip out the door while everybody is merry. Yes, yes, yes. That's what people do, isn't it? They drink, they get merry, and then they won't notice you. I must go now. My dwarven friends and hobbit, I bid you farewell for now. Leave the Shire. I can't help this. Make for the village of Bree. I will meet you there. Actually, I will meet you before. Head towards Bree. I will meet you on the outskirts. I will be within amongst the trees. Seek me out there. Grungor, Steelheart nods. Aye, we can do that. He clasps hands with Radagast. You're not bad for a wizard. And you are not bad for a dwarf. I bid you farewell for now. So he disappears, leaving Bungo, Grungor, Chetwin, and Balvor, along with Bill the pony, and together they start making their way towards the Green Dragon Inn. Now, this is what they do. Now, the first thing they need to try and do. Now, the good thing about the Coda system is you can make rules for a group, a single person, even an entire army, if needs be. Now, as a group, and this could be important for later on, and I'll just make a note of it. Radagast did say to them they need to kind of not draw attention to themselves. So, can they get to the Green Dragon Inn unnoticed? Now, at this point in the history of Middle-earth, dwarves, even men, can go in through the Shire and Hobbiton. It's not unknown. Whereas in the time of Aragorn being the king, King Elisar, who decrees that no man shall set foot in the Shire again, because because of the deeds that Frodo did in the War of the Ring. But this is a simple case of getting from his home to the Green Dragon Inn. Now, I would say to accomplish that, their attention. I think the pony would get more attention than they would. It's just 3 dwarves and a hobbit. Anyone looking on is likely to think, well, perhaps they've come for some, or they're doing some sort of trade, because barter is very big in the Shire. They did have a monetary system, but there was also a lot of barter too. Now, just going for a walk to the local inn is not very adventurous. So again, I would say it's somewhere between simple and routine. I'm going to put a base number of... No, in fact, I'll call it simple. So, do they arrive unnoticed? Oh, yeah. Easily. So they get to the inn. I have no terrain for that at this point in time. But they get to the inn and they put Bill outside. There's like it's not an actual stable as such, but it's like a bit of an overhang. It's not that it's raining or anything like that. It's actually quite good weather. It's late summer time of year, and so the weather is just on the edge of turning. So they get in the inn. So they've got to the inn unnoticed. Now, can they manage to just, have a few drinks, a few beers? If Bungo orders the drinks, what are the chances they can do that and not draw too much attention to themselves? And I'm thinking I'm thinking we'll consult the fate chart for that. Notice I'm not using a focus chart at the moment. That's because we're setting up this scene as is. Right, so we're on chaos rank of 5. I think it's likely. No, I think it's very likely that they can do what Radagast has asked them. So we rolled 21. Oh yeah, easy. So they have their drinks. They discuss what they're going to be doing. They are going to be leaving. They're going to be leaving the Shire. I'm just going to look on my map here. I've got a few maps actually. I've had a quick look on my map. They discuss and decide, and whilst they're in the inn actually, the dwarves have a few coins on them as well, which they pass to Bungo to get some bread and cheese and other things that they can pack in their bags. They've got a few provisions as well, and their water skins are all topped up and that. They even have, you know, a little bit of wine. But they discussed the best way to leave the Shire, and notice would be to head towards the river. There is a river, the Brandywine River, the one which goes past Hobbiton up to Lake Avendon. Anyway, so the Brandywine, and yes, they're going to head towards Buckleberry Ferry. That is the way they are going to go. Will it take them through Farmer Maggot's Fields? I don't know. I think they've got to go that way just to get out of Hobbiton, and so yes, so we'll do that next time. This was just about setting up our first scene and getting going. We'll make the roll. Can they leave? Let's have a look at their. Yeah, they're pretty stealthy, and they're small. I think the same target number is going to apply. It's going to be 5. I think to leave the Shire at this point, there is no threat of corruption. There's no evil actually happening yet. Nothing physical. So the target number will be 5 for that. So I'm going to make a roll for that. 7. Yep. So they leave the Shire. That's just in the passerby. Out. They're going to head out. We'll head out this way. Look. Yeah. Through the trees onto a path. Build the ponies with them. He's happy. That's where we're going to leave it. So chaos factor is 5. We accomplished that. Radagast did enlist the help of Bungo, which he was meant to do anyway. So there wasn't really a thing about that. Otherwise, there would be no campaign. So yes, he's going on this little quest with the hobbits. With the dwarves. You know what I'm like. So he's doing that. Our chaos rank will go down to 4. No, actually, yeah, I'll keep it there. So scene 2, leaving the Shire, and I'll try and get the voices better next time. I'll try. Leaving the Shire, the chaos rank will be 4 because we were pretty much in control of that scene. So it goes down to 4. Will I be changing over to mythic variations? I don't know at this stage. I'm quite happy with the way it is there, and that's where I'm going to leave it. So thank you very much. Thanks for watching. This is just starting off, so please bear with me. Things will pick up. We just had to set our scene up to get going with the game, and yeah, there's lots of things going on in the background, even in this opening scene, which I won't reveal to you. I won't reveal to you. I won't even reveal to you later unless there's a logical way it can be revealed. So stick with it. Thank you for watching. Please join me on the next episode of the Middle-earth solo RPG campaign, the Dwarves of Fangorn. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.